In this video, I'm going to be making a chip and dip. If you haven't seen some of my other videos, I'm using a bat mate underneath my bat, and I do use bat pins. And I'm using a hunk of clay which is right around 5 pounds. This will be a significant size chip and dip, so it can actually hold quite a few chips or veggies or whatever. If you're ever collaring up and you start to get an indent like this, the most important thing is do not trap air or slip on the inside. So I'm going to take my hand, kind of put it on the corner to encourage that to come up in the center. Coning it will help you to get a little bit more centered, a little bit more quickly. Now that I've coned mine, I'm going to drop it down. I drop it down to about the height of making a bowl. So this is probably 1.5 inches thick right now. And now what I want to do is I'm going to center the middle part. This is going to be my bowl for the dip. This is going to be taller, and then I'm going to push this down to the side of where the bowl part hunk of the clay is. And then this part out here, this is going to be the chip part. Now, the idea being, I'm not going to be trimming the bottom on this. I am just going to leave it flat. So, I'm going to center the hunk of clay right in the middle. And I want to be careful not to leave this very thick right here. I want to make sure that that is a pretty good corner there. If it kind of angles out, you end up with a really thick piece of clay there, which you don't want. I'm going to throw the middle part as a bowl, and again, I do not want to trim the base of this, so I want to keep that in mind as I'm throwing. I don't want the floor of the bowl part to be too thick because, of course, I don't want to have problems. So as I mentioned, the base of the wall of the bowl, it's going to be very important that I not leave that too thick down there. Now I'm going to flatten out the chip part a little bit more. So I'm really leaving about, I would say, 1/4 inch on the bottom. That allows me enough room so when I go to cut it, I don't trim through the base. Now, one of the most important things about a chip and dip is compress that bottom. You want to make sure that the bottom is very, very compressed. If it is not really compressed, you'll end up with cracking. Now, this chip could be completely done as is if I wanted to be done with it at this point. But I'll show you one more kind of fun thing that you could certainly do if you want. And that is I'm going to do a little bit of an indent. So I'm going to take the edge of some rounded wooden tool, or you could even use your finger if you want. But I'm going to make some indents to create kind of that floral kind of shape. And I just broke it up into 6 because I do like the geometry of 6 and snowflakes. And I'll do that on the exterior as well. Oops. I always start going directly opposite of each other because I find it's easier to line it up if I go opposite. There we go. Right down here at the bottom, I could do a slight undercut. That will remove a little of the extra clay there at the corner. And then using the wire cutter with my hands down beneath the level of the bat. That's why I took off the splash pans, because I want to get my hands down. Then I will just pull across. Now this is ready to get leather hard, and then I will recut it again. After about 24 hours, it may not be leather hard all the way at the center, and then I'll give it about 48 hours and hopefully be able to remove it then. And that's how you do a chip and dip. This is the chip and dip that I threw yesterday, and although I cut it yesterday, I'm going to cut it again today, making sure that it's down as low as it can go. There we go. You want to be careful not to ride up at all because you don't want to go through the bottom. Now this I am not going to be flipping over, because obviously if I set it on this that would cause some problems. I'm not going to be trimming a foot on it, but what I will be doing is just taking off a little bit of the corner here, just with a little rib, just kind of scraping it down, basically just putting a bevel on it, so when I go to glaze it I have a logical place where I can stop glazing. So if you can see, I've really just put a very small bevel on it, and I'll just tidy it up, and that's pretty much it. I'm gonna let it dry slowly so it can dry evenly and not have any cracking.